I've got plenty of supplies if you've got... plenty of coin. Come back again.
The desert is as unforgiving.
make way for the art.
If you've things to kill, I've got things to sell. Farewell, love.
Yes, that helm will serve you. I've got armor, and the wife's... Got blades. I'd steer clear. Good.
Be on your guard.
Through the woods and mountainside, through the hollows and green meadow, through the summer, winter, day and night, through the hallowed halls of seasons and song,
What is it?
through the vengeance, pride and sorrow, echo the
Hail, adventurer! I am Bruin the Bard, spinner of stories, seeker of adventure. These brave soldiers, the finest of the Alfar armies. They escorted me all the way from Melsenshi, but there is still adventure to be had, so join me. If not, then I bid you fair warning. Ah, yes. It has been nearly a decade since I have told... These soldiers have been of no help. So please, let me regale you with tales of the Kaled coast. I will make sure your time is well spent. A wise question. Allow me the pleasure of your... I had a good feeling about you. Someone who cherishes a good story. Alas, there is one small problem. That area is favored by our enemies. If you can clear the air, we must clear the spot ahead of Bolgan. Goodbye.
The Tuatha have forced their war upon us. They eagerly cut through mortal flesh and mortal bone, and as a reminder of their butchery, they display these mortal corpses throughout the land, turning sanctity into putrescence. The bodies remain on our ground and on our gallows tree, bloated and corrupt.
Excellent work. You are clearly much more proficient in the ways of war than most. It would be my great pleasure. Picture it. The rising sun, a lingering fog. Somewhere it is here on this spot where the Bolgan drew first blood, killing Lord Erengastir, his son, and their squires during their morning ride. Let us move on, shall we? And if you don't mind, there are more. The Bolgan have infested the entire... Goodbye.
My friends used me for their own gain, and why not? I was, after all, a powerful sorceress who commanded the elements and conjured fear in the heart of any who would oppose her. Oliskar, my apprentice, the entire time was inciting the rabble against me, the witch. You should have known better than to trust him. And Atham, of course, right there, stealing from my library and purse. How could you be such a fool? Atham was someone I thought I could trust.
How curious. You are mortal, but your steps resound with a burden greater than any one mortal might ever hope to bear. More curious still is your presence here. The great scale is not idly moved, nor is my reverie broken without cause. What is your purpose? And so I am finally exhumed, but Bizarane is not the King of Sorrows from whom I hoped to draw summons. Indeed, I know the location of the Sorrows. They were never meant to be retrieved, but neither were they meant to be exploited. Before I go, I must request that you rouse my counterpart, Kaelrod. The ages have sent our paths together. I will not break it now. A penance of sorts. Long ago, Kaelrod and I served the Weeping King. Of tenders and delvers, we were the first. But the Weeping King soon left this world for Ashara. And when he did, the house stopped serving death and began serving the court of winter. That was not what we followed the Weeping King for. So we came here to contemplate death. It is what the Weeping King would have intended. When we first came to this place, we vowed we would not see each other until our contemplations were complete. I thought that day would never come. As I was on one side of the scale, you will find him on the other. I will leave this cell and wait for you to find him. He is on the other side of goodbye.
Sorrow precedes you, mortal. It is almost enough to shift the great scale on its own. It has been centuries since my reverie was last disturbed. For what cause are you here? What could a mortal possibly want with me? I have heard of your work in reaching Amalur. If she wishes to aid this King of Sorrows, then I will echo her approval. But learning the location of the Sorrows is not merely answering a question asked. More than knowledge will be needed to reach the Sorrows. We will meet her in time. You must be patient, mortal. Very well. And so the eldest look upon each other once more. It has been some time, but Bizarane will need more than knowledge to reach Sorrows. He will need a key which lies in Sincere, the hollow of the Weeping King. That is correct. It is a difficult thing to ask of a mortal, but you will not perform this task alone. One of us will aid in recovering the key from Sincere, and it falls to you to choose. Not for your end goal. Both of us are familiar with the Weeping King's Hollow. But I wield magic, and Amalur her Fey Blades. It will be so. Now, we must... Very well.
I've got plenty of supplies if you... Got plenty of coin. Come back again.
done it. You have rid the gates of the Bolgan. The very first Eren Gastir arrived here generations ago from Mel Senshir, before the final tower was on that very first morning of his arrival, while the sun ascended the sky. Gastir could not bear such an intrusion. Now that you've seen Castle Gastir, we should move on to the final stop. The last thing I want to show you is near the coast, on the cliffs overlooking... Goodbye. Hello.
The hunter runs. The hunter runs. Swiftly, swiftly for our lives. A mortal skirt of chain. A mesh of links forged in secret. The hunter runs. The hunter runs. In the chausses of the Fey Hunter.
There. You've cleansed this place of the Bolgan. I've told the tale of the first Eren Gastir. My final tale is that this last lord took a young mistress to his bed. A servant named Wilda Brandon. They had a child. To assuage his guilt, he wrote a royal letter in which he decreed to her and the child great wealth. But rather than take that letter, that woman was my mother. Hear me, friend. I will read it, and I will finally know if what my mother told me was true. Then I will My mother never wanted his kingdom. She only wanted his love. That letter has haunted me for 10 years. Friends, I'm not sure where to look for Father's letter. The castle. That would make some sense, wouldn't it? I remember my father having a chest near his throat. Goodbye.
Like the gilded ghosts of youth, the curving plates of fey-like scrolls decorate the life's guard of this impostor. It says, "I am like you, Fey Spirit," and shimmers with a brilliant gleam. This cuirass of the Fey Hunter.
The strength of contempt, fear, and hate courses through the rushing veins to the very fingertips. The instruments of war are readied, light in the grip, and machinations of the gauntlets of the Fey Hunter.
Wait! You're not going... Not that I've done any private Elia mad me. Listen, I've got some useful skills to trade, if you're willing to keep my little... See you!
Run!
We feel the glare of a silver raptor, a furrowed brow, eyes that pierce the veil. We see the scowling, engraved face of a beautiful, elegant Turk.
By the gods, it was horrible. He killed them all, and nothing could stop him. It was Dren, that freak who guards the House of Pride. He told us to leave, but we thought we could beat him. He's just one Fey, and not even a Tuatha, but nothing hurt him, and he slaughtered us all. The worst thing was, he seemed sorry to kill us. We'd heard the legends of Dren the Bloody, unbeatable defender of the House of Pride, but you know how Fey are with their stories. We were going to be the ones who beat him, and opened the path to Alabastra for the army. We were going to be heroes, you know? Then Dren told us to turn around or we'd die. And God's help us, you can turn around and run.
You have arrived and our work may begin. Much has changed since I was here. This place is awash with this corruption, this foul crystal. How dare the Tuatha permit this to happen to the tomb of the Weeping King? This was a sacred place, a holy site, and they let it fall to this? But we must not delay. To reach the key to the sorrows, you will need this votive, and 3 others like it. We must search sincere for them. To reach the key, the tenders of this hollow... Very well.
Ah!
So you have recovered all of the votives. Then we may press onward to the next trial, the Crying Eyes. When we have reached them, I will tell you more. But now we must press onwards. Farther still into the bowels of Sincere. Very well. There. The votives have served their purpose. Come, let us go deeper into Sincere. Before we can reach the key, we have one final challenge to bypass. The Crying Eyes. We must find them. Very well. This is the other obstacle we must encounter. The Crying Eyes. They are the last guardian on the path to the key. You must approach them, mortal. They will show you the way forward, if only you answer them. By studying them. It is not a riddle, so much as a test of patience. Imitate the Crying Eyes and the way will open. Very well. That is the key to the sorrows, mortal. It is perhaps not the sort you are used to, but that is certainly it. It is a branch of the ancient and wizened tree, whose roots touch this world and Ishara, the plane of magic to which all Fae belong. It is a branch of the gallows tree. The sorrows take the form of the gallows tree in both realms, and this branch creates the bridge between them. Come, let us ferry it to Bizarrain.
Very well. I've got plenty of supplies if you've got plenty of coin. Come back again.
You have the key to the sorrows. That was well done. Indeed, everything you have done is more than I could have possibly hoped for. My reliance on you to this point was never my initial plan. I only needed Kadarok dead at the hands of someone else. But when I learned how willing you were to hound the Tuatha, I saw you would rise to every occasion. You became my faithful instrument. How could Saturnin have eluded the minds of so many for these long years? Simple. He was a ruse. His existence was fabricated. While all eyes watched for Saturnin, another was free to wage his war, namely me. All for the glory of Gadflow and our god. When you killed the Baelor, I saw an opportunity to end the house and the mortal armies simultaneously. You became my road to a perfect victory. You mean, why not announce my intent in a more obvious and boorish? Or I had to have the sorrows, but they were lost. It took years before I even learned of the Eldest. To reach the Eldest, I needed this house to die. To do that, I needed a rebellion. To do that, I needed, and it's true, I do not share the face of my brethren. As I explained to Gadflow, it was a necessary part of the plan. I have not worn this mask without sacrifice. Too long have I gone without feeling the warmth of Prismeer or the love of my god. But soon this will end. And I can— Your ignorance of fate, but there is more. You are the hero of Mels— Who better to be the blade that I used to kill the Alfar? Who better to— You seriously— There is— But take heart. You will die long before the—
No, they're gonna kill the eldest. You survived. For better or worse, I know not. The house is in ruins, the eldest lie butchered, and Bizerain has betrayed us to the Tuatha. He must be denied. For our honored sorrow, our broken pride, our due vengeance. He cannot be allowed to use that. He is at the birthplace of summer and winter, where the Weeping King first pooled the anguish and decay inherent in all Winter Fae. It is the plane from which all I fear you may have had enough of secrets, but here is mine. I am the Weeping King reborn. Bizerain needed a key to reach the Sorrows. I do not. I did not always know. It makes sense now. Why I could practice delve, be it fate or chance. We must take it is both near and far. In the Midden, the barrier between this realm and Ashara is weak. I do not know what will happen. Bizerain has a head start on us. We must hurry. You have a strong force of will. Stronger, but we are here. I can recall now. Vague Bizerain will be there, but he has prepared himself. This barrier keeps us from him. It is a place the Weeping King... that I craft when Fae are born. Their life, the tree in the center. The Midden is the cradle of winter. It is connected to the... Yes, we can. I can sense the conduit, but Bizerain is no fool. He will not leave them and... Bizerain is correct. The barrier is strong. We must hurry.
We meet again, mortal. Can I truly remember what he brought me back to?
We must be quick.
You dare tread here. I have been because of you.
Finally, you have come. My master is ready. Perhaps if I...
And so you have finally reached me. I sought, and then you came.
You have slain what vestiges of your past I could conjure, and the barrier has fallen. You think your presence here can stay my spells? Save your plea.
Vizarin may be dead, but the death blow is still his. The Sorrows have already begun escaping their seal. We need to act quickly, or this will all be for nothing. I must seal the Sorrows within myself. But I cannot be afraid. It must be done. For the good of more. It isn't, but please, we must hurry.
Looking to restock? Ilindol, back again. I've got plenty of supplies if you've got... Plenty of coin. Back again.